Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is another normal game, but it is a part of the Nordcast marathon of sorts. It's a game sent in by you, the fans, too. Lifesaglitchtv@gmail.com. But this came with a screenshot showing the OTT-backed NordVPN subscription. And so, an instant guaranteed cast coming their way. Mr. Maximus Black.
Yeah.
Hit me up with the sound of ordering Chinese food, but it's not a restaurant that you accidentally walked into.
You want some? No. I want Chinese food. I don't know.
Wow.
Man. Yeah.
Incredible. I thought I might get a you want some fuck out of that, but we only got to the you want some.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm trying to teeter the line, you know. I'm trying to, I'm not trying to offend anybody. It's 2023, man. It don't take much.
We wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, no.
Which, unfortunate on this map, because this is the dick map that we discovered
it is.
last week.
Yeah, look at the tip.
Yeah. Playing just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. So this is supposed to be a normal game. Down here at the bottom left, we have YoWantSum, and at the top right, we have a mediocre Eminem song.
Venom. Yep. Yep.
It's a PVT.
PVT, it's gold as well. I don't actually know which player sent this in, but we do know that they have NordVPN. Link is in the description below. Use that promo code OTT. And yeah, that's just been that. So, since this is a normal game and it's gold, we need something to talk about, Adam. Do we have any questions from the Patreon?
Unfortunately, no. Every week I try to always see like what would be like a StarCraft, StarCraft safe question.
Yeah.
We haven't had any that really make sense. The closest one was the one where you hit up with the noise of finally having all of the fiscal deliverables done and dusted. That was a good one. But otherwise, unfortunately, no questions. So I will just come up with shit off the top of my head because that's just what we do around here. And so I will say, as we're waiting for this is gold, but you have been playing StarCraft for 2 weeks now, and you have been laddering hardcore. In your PVTs, have you noticed any trends the further up the ladder you've climbed? Like, what is it that you expect in a normal PVT now that you've gotten up the ladder a bit?
Getting
and played 2
fucked.
weeks of StarCraft.
Hard.
Great.
That's what it is.
You want some?
Oh, I want some. Fucking tearing out there, spitting mad venom via cyclones and Widowmine drops and all that other bullshit. So I just try and end the game before it even gets to a late game. And usually if it gets to a late game, I lose 80% of those. So, yeah, that's just been my life in ladder. Unfortunately, they don't quite play like this Terran is playing. Which, I guess for gold really isn't all that bad. He's got, 4 racks going. He's already got his expansion going. Yep. So, decent opening here. Would love to see an earlier orbital command now that we are 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. That's really the only major gripe that I see here. He's got +1 going. Engineering base completed. And over here, very standard opening as well. We've just got your couple of gates, 3 gates and a forge, plus your nexus. Got that little shield battery out in the front, sitting pretty. Adam, we're getting a macro game.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question. Here you go. Well, I'll ask you this question. It'll be from the Protoss side because you are a Protoss player. For the folks at home, I had somebody in our comments asking, where can we go to learn shit? I've just wanted to get into StarCraft, seeing you guys cast again, etc., etc. So I'll ask this, since you were just talking about upgrades from the Terran side. When you are Protoss, when is it that you decide when you're starting your upgrades, when you commit, and like to level 1, level 2? When do you decide to actually get? I know when this first came out, a lot of people, and even in Brood War, like when do you decide to commit to plasma shields instead of just going normal shields? What is your upgrade scheme that you use? And if you want to do it in the confines of a PVT, even better.
Well, in PvT, you typically want to start with your shields first. In PvZ, you want to get your attack first. That's how I've always done it. But also, just like upgrade-wise, like for one, shields upgrades, they come at the very end. So pretty much like when you're 3-3, or if you're in late game and you have multiple forges going, you always want to prioritize your attack and your armor first. The shields is sort of at the end, especially in PvT. Like, you get shields, but then ghosts come and they just EMP the fuck out of you, and the shields just don't really matter. But to answer your question about when do you upgrade, it's all timing based. So in these types of matches, gold, platinum, even diamond to an extent, I feel like diamond is sort of where they start doing it right. And anything like, obviously silver and bronze stuff, people just to kind of start upgrading to upgrade. Because the way I look at it is here, okay, Venom's got +1, but what did he do with +1? Well, he didn't do anything with +1. So the +1's been done for a while. Yeah, he has it. But typically what you want to do is you want to hit that upgrade just before you hit an attack. If not, that 100 gas, 100 minerals could have been used elsewhere. And so, or if hey, my opponent is doing X, Y, or Z potentially with the build, I need to have this specific upgrade by the time they hit at the 7-minute mark. So then you want to have that for the defense. So it's really, at a higher level, it's all about timing. Of course, you want to get the upgrades. Upgrades definitely make all the difference in the world throughout the game. But early on, you want to make sure that you are intentional. That's the word I want to use. You want to be intentional about your upgrades. And that also applies to not even just your upgrades. We're talking about having intentionality for everything. So we're talking blink, charge, storm. You want to be intentional with when you get them, and you theoretically want to hit as these things are finishing. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, so I guess everything in StarCraft, especially when you're learning early on and you're not developing stuff on your own, you're really trying to adhere to build orders.
Yeah.
So if you're just learning, you want to go and find some build orders. There's lots of places you can find them, and then you take note in the build orders. They'll have like, when are you upgrading? Because depending on the build order, like Mr. Black's saying, the upgrade will hit at a time where, depending on the size of the map too, you're crossing the map as the upgrade is finishing.
Correct.
With the idea that theoretically by the halfway point to 3/4 point to your destination, your upgrade just finishes, so you've maximized how many units you have available for a timing of an attack. And so that's probably a good idea to just pay attention to in a build order that you're seeing online. They're not just getting an upgrade, at random. It's at a very specific time for a reason.
Yeah, and even more so, like when you're doing things like a blink all in or a blink push or a charge lot Archon type thing, that upgrade finishes and you pretty much want to be hitting instantly. Timings matter so much in StarCraft that quite literally, at even at the levels that I play, which is like mid, high, masters, 10-15 seconds, you're dead. Like you can't fuck around or you're gonna find out. Speaking of fucking around and finding out, this is a very juicy army here for our Protoss player, and these Widow Mines are doing all the damage in the world by literally doing no damage. He is scared to, for whatever reason, to get in there. Guardian Shield does go off. Unfortunately, Stalkers are no good against Marauders. He does have 3 Immortals in there. Now they're starting to do damage. But unfortunately, he is going to lose this fight and this base. Would have loved to have seen some sort of AoE for our Protoss, whether that's a Disruptor, Storm. You need something at this point, because the Marine Marauder Medevac Ball, the classic MMM, will bend you over and do dirty, nasty things to the point where you don't want some anymore. And that's what's happening right now.
No, there's a Liberator now going to strengthen this up.
God.
He brought
Did you just see that?
All of those probes. Yeah, the Widow Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might be game.
It's down bad. It might very well be. If not, it'll be very close. I think what would happen, I would imagine, is that the Terran will overcommit to constantly streaming down like 2 or 3 units at a time until he gets cleaned up. And then, you know, at this level, we often see them not being able to keep up with stuff back home. And with Protoss, as you would know, especially against a Terran, as soon as you hit Robotech, you need to make sure that you leave that Protoss crippled, because if they counter, they're not going to counter with, you know, shit that you just wiped off the face of the earth. They're going to counter with some heavy-hitting units, and you can't survive that as easily. So here we go. He's finally backing off. He has been streaming in units, as you would expect to see. And now the Protoss is sitting here with, you know, 10, 12 stalkers, and down a base, but
that's okay.
You got to be careful. We've seen that. No, it's okay. This was a good Terran attack. He's not overcommitting. I was expecting an overcommittal, as we've seen before.
Well, I mean, one thing that Venom should have done here is he needed to expand in behind this build. Typically, you know, Terrans at this stage would already either have 1 or 2 extra command centers, and then as they're moving out, that's when they're flying them over there and shooting down a bunch of mules while they just focus on the fight. Unfortunately for Venom, he did not do that, and now it's still 2 base versus 2 base. And nice blink forward there, picking off the medevac that had all the units in there. And this this isn't the scariest army anymore, because he's only got 1 medevac with no energy, and he's still streaming things down. His 3rd command center is still just being created, and we've got a double expansion coming in here from YoWantSum, and I like this. Even if he has to cancel this or it gets killed, Venom at that point probably thinks that, okay, this was him trying to get his 3rd again, and I just stopped it, so I'm feeling pretty confident. But there's a whole nother base that is pretty much finishing up right now. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Would have been nice to get a pick off on that Liberator. Doesn't do it. Backs off. Needs to be careful, though, because this army can still stim and win. Stalkers.
Especially now that he's got these mines here, although these mines are just walking straight in, but he does have to be careful where he engages here. He's got 1 more medevac, another Liberator. This is not enough medevacs, though. He's got to be careful. He can't overstim or he'll die here. And we're seeing some reasonable blink micro here. He's not doing individually, but he is getting some work done.
It's good.
And at this level of play, I'll take it.
Oh, you're damn right I'll take it. This is good. He's playing very cautiously with the Stalkers. Now he's got enough Stalkers to kill off Widow Mines before they can even get down and do anything. And like you said, not a whole lot of medevacs here with no energy. And normally an army like this against an army like that is going to be no good. But simply because he just doesn't have anything to heal up. He's stimmed on the way in the very first engagement. And that ruined a lot of the health there. But he needs complementary units to go with this. Pure blink stalkers at some point is just not going to work out. Charge lots, Archon, Storm, high temp. Yeah, exactly. He needs something here, but he's doing well considering.
And he has high temp because we've seen an Archon, so he's definitely at high temp tech. But he just hasn't committed to it, and he's been very mineral rich. He just spent a ton of money. I don't know where it all went, but he just spent a ton of it, like 1,000 minerals. But you know what? I'm going to give it to him. He didn't spend his money very well in the last while, but you know, at this level, we're seeing just enough blink micro and being very good about when he's going in and not. And against Widow Mines, it can sometimes be difficult to not get caught out.
Yeah, and the Siege Tank is very well placed there from Venom. If he gets too close, that Siege Tank is going to start doing AoE. It's getting to the point now where he's soon going to be able to start blinking forward, and now would be the time. So now he needs to go into this, do a forward blink, kill that Siege Tank and that Liberator, and then grab a 4th and start teching up again. Meanwhile, up here on the other side, he has the 3rd down, but the 3rd is here as well already for YoWantSum. And I would have liked to have seen him just kill this off, kill that, and kill that, like ASAP, like yesterday.
Yeah, and
there
you can see with his resources, he's doing all this micro, but it is coming at the cost of his macro.
Yeah,
it's been very difficult for him to keep up. Terran's been doing a bit better with that in general, and that's largely why I think YoWantSum hasn't already won this game. He's been floating 110-ish supply in army now for ages when he's had the resources to basically be damn near maxed out. He doesn't even have the pylons for 200 yet. So he is definitely tied up with the micro. And oh my god, what is
Venom doing? He just threw so many units, dude.
Did he
Like
forget
his-
to A move? Did he just
Yes.
right-click instead
Yes.
of A moving? Oh, that's catastrophic. YoWantSum needs to attack now, Mr. Black.
Oh, yesterday. He needs to go, and he's got a Warp Prism here. I would have loved to have seen him just warping 4 Zealots, put him in there, go up into the main, and as he's dropping into the main, that's when you go in with your Blink Stalkers and you try and snipe off a command center. Or even the siege tanks that are out here, because as soon as that drop happens, he's going to beeline it up into the base, and that's when you're going to want to do your damage. Very well played here from YoWantSum. He is being very aggressive with his expansion, something that Venom hasn't been doing the majority of the game. Yes, he got a third, but with how much he's been down on the other side of the base and the amount of damage he was doing, you'd think he'd be at 4, going on 5 bases at this point, but he just doesn't. He also isn't getting that many medevacs, which is really hurting his army, like his staying power of the army.
Yeah, and we've seen this at this level of Terran play before. Remember we had that one game where the guy just refused to build medevacs? So, like, it's a weird thing. I mean, it's just something... Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
That's not
This
even
might
just
be
bad.
game.
That's game. That's game.
Yeah.
It's bad. Dude.
Oh.
Absolutely
Don't
reamed.
attack that. Just don't attack that. We've seen that
Yeah,
happen.
go
The
up into
throws
here.
at a PF.
Yeah.
Yeah, the throws at a PF have been strong. We've seen that happen. But,
Yeah.
I mean... YoWantSum is in very good positioning right now. I just wish he would build more pylons and shit so he can finally max out. He's got so many resources. He's so micro-intensive. He's doing lots of things right, but you know he's definitely at gold right now because he just hasn't learned how to split his attention well enough yet. But Venom is just feeding him free units at this point. Just,
dude, I don't even...
It's Oprah Winfrey's favorite things day, and the favorite thing is Terran units for sale.
Yeah, Venom barely has done an attack. Like, I would say his last 30 to 40 units have just been from not even A moves, just a right click, and have done nothing. YoWantSum is playing very, very well, considering I almost can't believe that it's gold and he's microing this well. He's doing phenomenally. Like, he's got like diamond level micro with the blink, which is great to see. But at the same time, this Terran player is also kind of shit in the bed pretty hard. And okay, here we go. See, once again, he's doing a good job with the micro. It's getting to the point where he doesn't really want to stand in front of these siege tanks. They're going to do damage. Why is he not using this Warp Prism? This is the time, man.
It's the macro. That's what I mean. Look at his resources. So, like, the reason why he's got diamond level micro is because that's clearly what
he's focused
he excels
on
at naturally and focusing on.
Yeah.
And so, without that extra bit, that's why I think he's probably still floating gold. Is because he hasn't gotten that macro back end yet. He's gotten very clearly good.
Oh boy.
At micro. Oh, this could be catastrophic. Oh no.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh my god.
That's it.
That's tough. Well,
Dude.
He's at 168 to 90 supply now, but the PF is a very strong unit with a couple of fucking tanks. So, like, he still can't fucking just walk in the front door, unfortunately. But, I mean, he's plus what?
He's
plus
getting
2
to the
attack
point,
plus
yeah.
3 attack?
Oh, he's 3-3. He went shields.
3-3-1.
Yeah, he went
All right.
for shields. Okay, sure.
Slag points.
Yeah, just when I was talking about, that's something that you don't want to get right away. Look, again, barely even attack.
More units for sale.
Okay, now we're getting to the point where he can literally just blink forward into anything and everything will die. I think he's playing with his food at this point. There it is.
There
GG.
It is. GG.
There it is. I mean, hey,
wow.
Solid. Good.
That was a good solid game at this level.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't complain.
liked
So
it.
I'm gonna make the assumption that YoWantSum is the one that sent in the replay. So yeah, big thank you for supporting Nord, and yeah, he sent me 2 replays. He sent me a 2v2, I think as well. But yeah, I was the first one I downloaded, and this was it. It wasn't labeled, so I just said, all right, well, this is the one. So
Man.
it's good. I'm happy I
It
did
ended
this
up
one.
being good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
No,
That's
it
all
was
I
well
got.
done. Well, that's all I've got too. So until the next one, peace.
Peace.